Welcome back to Dinar Trend Tracker channel. Hold on a little longer for this one, since the events of the past 24 hours have startled the financial world. People have been on the edge of their seats, waiting, guessing, and hoping for years. And now, perhaps, the long-awaited moment has arrived. Word on the street from financial insiders, foreign exchange analysts, and worldwide banking contacts is flying in. Furthermore, they are all pointing to the same revolutionary breakthrough. International financial systems have now displayed the contract rates for the Iraqi dinar. Not just any rumor, this. The revaluation process may finally be getting underway, and this is the signal that many investors have been hoping to see. Read on for a rundown of what's occurring, why the timing is significant, expert opinions, and potential consequences for Iraq's future and global financial markets. Allow me to begin by discussing the incident that has been dubbed the 7 p.m. shock. Several financial systems started recording new data updates related to Iraq's central bank just before 7 p.m. local time yesterday. Usually, these upgrades are minor and unnoticed, but this one was marked as unusual. According to those in the know, the updates included rate adjustment inputs, which are typically reserved for really large currency recalibrations. Confirmation began trickling in from US, European, and Middle Eastern financial systems within minutes, with live Iraqi dinar contract rates emerging on global trading platforms. It's been a long time since we witnessed such a move. This update is typical of those that come before a big change in the value of currencies around the world. Therefore, why is 7 o'clock a crucial time? System synchronization, refreshment, and updates to overnight rate data occur in worldwide banking between 7 and 11 p.m. Now is the opportunity for Iraq or any other country to subtly implement new values without causing immediate financial turmoil. They have a chance to double-check everything before public trading starts, and it's everything under control. The precise timing of this move does not appear to have been coincidental, according to analysts, since it corresponds with the testing and budget recalibration that Iraq completed last week. For the sake of clarity, let's address the question of what these contract rates imply. A contract rate, in its most basic definition, is an exclusive, pre-negotiated exchange value that eligible holders and approved groups can take advantage of during early exchanges. These public rates are not chosen at random. Premium rates are only available to certain groups, including verified private holders, governments, and humanitarian organizations. Primordial, secondary, and tertiary are common ways to classify these sets of people. Tier 4, often abbreviated as A and B, comprises registered individual holders and early private participants. It is typically the final stage before the public rate is made official when these contract rates are made live inside banking systems. That's why the whole world of currencies has been rocked by this news. People have been keeping an eye out for this sign for months, and it's obvious. A number of banks now have live contract rates, which indicates that the internal infrastructure is being turned on. It is now operational, not theoretical or speculative. Many have speculated that this might be the start of the last stage in Iraq's new financial period, which they call activation. The much-anticipated revaluation, or RV, may be closer than anybody anticipated if that holds true. Additionally, there is substantial activity within Iraq that supports this. Breaking news from the area. The completion of the currency reform program has been reported recently by Iraqi finance ministry officials have gone on record as saying they want to restore faith in and value for the Iraqi dinar. The head of the central bank and the prime minister have both used that expression multiple times in recent weeks. In addition, some areas have received new smaller value dinar notes, ATMs have been adjusted, and the banking system in Iraq can now process both types of notes. These are major developments. Only when a nation is getting ready to use its currency on a global scale would it make such a move. Concurrently, Iraq has been significantly weaning itself off of the US currency. Government officials have been pushing for months for the use of the dinar as the sole currency for all domestic transactions, including salaries, contracts, and trade settlements, rather than the dollar. The dinar is currently even used to settle oil transactions with neighboring countries. Full monetary sovereignty will be restored, and this is just one step in that process. It indicates that Iraq would prefer to use its own currency as the basis of its economy once again, rather than the dollar. That, along with the timing of the system upgrade, proves that this was not an accidental occurrence but rather part of a deliberate strategy. Major financial institutions' insiders have also verified that their internal screens have started showing active placeholders for the Vietnamese dong and the dinar. That happens exclusively when currencies are getting ready to be tested in the real world or traded. These placeholders are normally fixed, but recently they've started to move about a bit, suggesting they're connected to real-time market data. That is to say, even if they haven't been made public yet, Iraq's new rates might already be linked to the global financial network. What comes next can be discussed now. The procedure often consists of multiple steps, according to previous rollouts of a similar kind. The stability of the internal rates is first verified by the banks. After that, the revaluation is formally confirmed when the Iraqi government or central bank makes a public declaration. The next step is for exchange centers to get appointment scheduling notifications, which usually start with higher-tier groups before being public. Lastly, the new rate is publicly displayed on the Forex platforms and major exchange apps. When that happens, it officially joins the trading market. We seem to be in the calm time between internal activation and public release right now, which is a vital transition window. US-based banks including Chase and Wells Fargo are reportedly on standby to monitor rate revisions and get ready for messages from prospective customers. The redemption centers are supposedly checking the protocols for appointments and evaluating the technologies for communication. This level of operational preparedness is often reserved for situations where an actual event is about to occur. Naturally, when will this be made public is the main issue on everyone's mind. When Iraq makes its announcement will determine the solution. Prior to this, contract rate activations have sometimes been made public within a day or two. There have been cases where confirmation and market adjustment took up to a week. The system is clearly in motion, and a formal statement is anticipated to be released after these rates have stabilized. The most crucial piece of advice for holders or investors witnessing this moment is to be calm and well-informed. It is critical to pay attention solely to confirmed updates, as there will certainly be a surge of enthusiasm and possibly false information online. Never put your faith in a person who claims to have early exchanges, exclusive pricing, or access before official announcements. Private chats and online middlemen are never used by legitimate financial firms. Banks or government sources will disclose the legitimate process openly and directly when the time comes. Some in the financial industry see this as a watershed event that will determine Iraq's fate. Building confidence in Iraq's financial system and repairing the country's infrastructure have been top priorities for the country's government during the past 2 decades of reform and reconstruction. A primary objective has been the restoration of the dinar's international status. Now that they have standardized their systems according to ISO 20022 and fast procedures, Iraq can join the global economy in full force. Money isn't everything. Economic autonomy and global renown are at stake as well. This development has enormous worldwide ramifications. Other developing economies may follow Iraq's lead if it is able to make the switch to a fully valued, internationally traded dinar. A number of Asian and African countries, including Vietnam and Zimbabwe, have been closely following Iraq's developments. By stabilizing its currency and re-entering the world stage stronger than before, a nation may rebuild from conflict, and a successful revaluation would create that example. Markets throughout the world are taking note of this because of that. The emotional toll on the investing public is another crucial consideration. Iraqi dinar will recoup its worth, according to the millions of people who have hung on to the hope for years. False alarms have been endured by them. Unfounded chronologies and continuing rumors. This time, though, things seem different. Updates to banking systems, confirmation of central bank policy, and a timetable that coincides flawlessly with Iraq's reform agenda are all indicators of change. All of these things are coming together to make what's happening now really significant. The time of 7 o'clock p.m. was deliberate. The experts all believe that Iraq probably went with that window so it could keep its secrecy while still keeping up with global rate adjustments. We made this decision to make sure the market stays as smooth as possible and the system stays as intact as possible. It demonstrates a degree of preparation that may indicate global cooperation, potentially involving key financial backers and regulatory agencies, to guarantee a seamless transfer. Iraq is involved, and it's about more than just figures. The focus is on the future and national pride. Iraq can increase its appeal to international investors, build confidence among locals, and maintain price stability by fortifying its currency. The dinar's genuine worth will be felt by importers, small enterprises, and ordinary people around the world. As a result, Iraq might go from an economy in recovery to a regional financial powerhouse, completely altering its role in the Middle East. At the same time, this development will send shockwaves across markets around the globe. The possible effects on oil prices, regional trade balances, and investment portfolios are already being recalculated by currency analysts and dealers. How governments evaluate economic might in the years ahead could be impacted by Iraq's revaluation, which could trigger a broader trend toward asset-backed currencies. The world's financial system is also about to undergo a big test at this very moment. Traditional fiat systems may start to change as more nations adopt asset-based value systems that are open and transparent. Iraq's audacious move may serve as a wake-up call for other countries to fortify their currencies through real economic reforms, away from dollar dependence and external debt. One thing is certain while we await the next official announcement. Things are starting to fit together. The internal systems of Iraq are in sync. There is transparency on the contract pricing and the banks are in sync. A potential most momentous monetary adjustment in contemporary financial history has its roots in the groundwork. What are the next steps for viewers? Keep yourself well informed, keep your emotions under check, and behave rationally. Major news may break in the next days, so staying patient is essential. The official turning point will be marked when the new value is reflected on worldwide Forex platforms and Iraq's central bank makes its public pronouncement. Only then will we know for sure. This isn't just about money or speculation, so keep that in mind as we wrap up today's special report. It's about seeing a country that has battled to recover its financial independence undergo a metamorphosis. According to the sources, a new financial era may be about to begin, and not only for Iraq but for the entire world that is closely following the situation. So, for the time being, that is all. Everything is happening so fast with this story, and we will keep you updated with every verified development. For the most up-to-date information on this monumental change, make sure to subscribe to Iraqi Dinar News. All this time has dragged on. There have been obstacles along the way. The finish line is within sight, though, if tonight's claims are true. History doesn't always make itself known, so until we meet again, keep your wits about you, hold on to your hope, and be vigilant. In the presence of fireworks? Starting softly at 7 o'clock in the evening is not uncommon.